Libra, listen closely, because the energy around you right now is not what it seems. Not everyone who says I love you is actually choosing you. Some people only choose the parts of you that benefit them, the parts that make them feel powerful, the parts that make them feel wanted, but not the real you who deserves honesty and care. And not every smile that reaches your heart is sent from heaven. Some smiles are rehearsed. Some words are calculated. Some gestures are designed to win your trust, not to honor it. Right now, someone in your space is wearing a mask of affection, a mask of loyalty, a mask that looks soft and familiar, but underneath it, their intentions sit in the shadows. Their emotions are not matching their actions. Their kindness feels borrowed, not genuine. Their presence brings excitement, but also a quiet confusion you can't explain. The universe is whispering to you tonight. Libra, don't fall for their trap. Because their words sound sweet, but their energy tastes bitter. Their hugs feel warm, but their soul hides cold motives. Their attention feels flattering, but their spirit is not aligned with yours. You felt it, haven't you? That tiny discomfort in your chest. That uneasy sensation you try to ignore. That soft warning inside that says something doesn't add up. That voice is not paranoia. That voice is protection. It's your intuition, your spirit, your inner balance trying to warn you that someone is pretending. Someone is not who they claim to be. Someone is performing love instead of giving it. And Libra, you are too precious, too intuitive, too spiritually sensitive to let a false connection trap you. If this message is already speaking to you, if your spirit is recognizing something, if a name, a face, or a moment is rising in your mind right now, I want you to claim your clarity in the comments. Write this to seal your discernment. I choose truth over imitation. Say it with intention. Say it as a declaration that you refuse to be fooled by sweet lies or borrowed affection. Say it as a promise to yourself that you will no longer ignore what your spirit sees. Stay with me until the end, Libra, because before this video ends, you will see how the divine exposes deception, how truth rises even when someone tries to hide it, and how your heart will be protected from what looks like love, but isn't. What comes next will give you the clarity you've been asking for, and the peace you deserve. Libra, think back to how they came into your life, not loudly, not forcefully. They didn't rush their way in. They blended. Soft footsteps, gentle words, a presence that felt almost comforting, like someone who already understood what your heart needed. They entered softly, didn't they? Like comfort wrapped in charm. The kind of charm that feels safe at first, harmless, tender. The kind of charm that lowers your guard without you even noticing. They remembered the little things about you, your favorite jokes, the way you talk when you're excited, the way you go quiet when something feels off. They mirrored your emotions so well that you started to believe the connection was mutual, natural, and pure. They spoke to you as though your soul was safe in their hands, as though they were offering you a shelter from the noise of the world. But Libra, manipulation never starts with cruelty. It begins with attention. It begins with someone studying you like a map, learning your rhythms, your softness, your longing for peace. They saw how you love wholeheartedly, how you listen deeply, how you care without holding back. And instead of cherishing those qualities, they used them as instructions. They learned how to speak in a tone that calms you, how to touch you in a way that reassures you, how to act like they are everything you've been waiting for. That wasn't love, that was strategy. They figured out how to be your calm while quietly planning to steal your balance. This is why the universe is asking you to be careful right now. Because what you saw as sincerity was actually a performance, a role they studied, a script they practiced, a version of themselves designed to gain your trust before revealing their true intentions. It isn't love, it's theater. A beautifully staged illusion meant to keep you curious, connected, and emotionally invested. But the applause is empty, and the act is temporary. The universe wants you to stop romanticizing red flags painted as roses. It wants you to stop calling inconsistency misunderstanding. It wants you to stop blaming yourself for the strange energy shifts you keep feeling. Your sensitivity is a gift, Libra, not a weakness. You feel deeply because your heart is wise. You notice subtle shifts because your spirit is alert. You hold on to hope because you believe in goodness. But sometimes, your beautiful ability to see the light in others blinds you to the shadows they hide. Even darkness can whisper like light if your heart is desperate to see the good in someone. And that is exactly where the illusion begins. The person pretending to care about you knows how to imitate gentleness. They know how to look sincere without being sincere. They know how to sound loving without feeling love. And tonight, the universe wants you to finally see through the act, to see the difference between someone who chooses you and someone who performs for you. The illusion is fading now, Libra. Your clarity is rising. You are beginning to feel the truth in your body, even if your emotions have not accepted it yet. And what you discover in the next chapter will make the mask fall completely. Libra, there is something heavy you've been feeling lately, something you can't quite put into words. It happens every time you leave their presence, every time you get off a call with them, every time you finish a conversation that started sweet but ended strangely. You've noticed it, that emotional fatigue that settles over you like a quiet storm. Your joy doesn't feel like yours anymore. It feels borrowed, like you have to work for it. Your peace, the peace you usually carry so naturally, now feels heavier than it should. Even your aura feels dimmer, like someone slowly turned down the brightness of your spirit without your permission. This is not random. This is not your imagination. This is what happens when someone is pretending to love you while secretly taking from you. Pretenders don't give energy, they take it. They take the parts of you that make them feel seen. They take the comfort your presence provides. They take the reassurance your words give them. They feed off your empathy, the way you always try to understand. They feed off your forgiveness, the way you give chance after chance. They feed off your softness, the softness they know you won't easily suppress. To them, your kindness becomes currency, something they can spend whenever they want attention, affection, or reassurance. And your silence becomes permission, because every time you keep quiet about something that hurts you, they take it as approval to keep doing it. Spiritually, this kind of connection is called an energetic exchange without balance. It means one person pours and the other person collects. One gives from the heart, and the other receives with hidden motives. You pour love into them, and they respond with confusion, enough to keep you guessing, wondering, doubting yourself. You share your soul with them, and they repay you with subtle control. Small actions designed to keep you emotionally dependent. This is how spiritual exhaustion begins, not through dramatic events, but through tiny, repeated imbalances that drain you over time. And Libra, you deserve better than this one-sided pulling of your spirit. The universe doesn't want you to harden your heart. It doesn't want you to become cold or closed off. Your heart is powerful. Your compassion is a blessing. But the universe does want you to guard yourself, to recognize the difference between someone who loves your presence and someone who loves your energy because it benefits them. Because when love becomes a transaction, when it becomes something you must pay for with your peace, it is no longer sacred, it is no longer safe, and it is no longer love. You are not meant to be drained. You are meant to be nourished, uplifted, strengthened. And the moment you understand this truth, the moment you see who is taking more than they're giving, is the moment your spirit begins to reclaim its power. Soon, Libra, you'll see exactly why the universe allowed you to feel this strain, because awareness is the first step toward liberation. Libra, there always comes a moment, a single moment, when everything shifts. You may not expect it, you may not even be looking for it, but it arrives like a spark in the dark, exposing what your heart tried so hard not to see. It usually begins with something small, something so simple it almost feels harmless. A text that doesn't sit right, not because of the words, but because of the energy behind them. You reread it, trying to convince yourself it's fine, but something inside you whispers, "No, this isn't right." Or maybe it's a story they tell you. A story that should bring comfort, but instead brings confusion. Their words say one thing, their actions say another. And suddenly, you see the contradiction you once brushed aside. Or it's their silence, a silence that stretches longer than usual. A silence that feels deliberate, heavy, almost calculated. A silence that forces you to hear the truth your heart has been avoiding. Then comes that defining moment, the one you can't explain away. The moment that makes something deep in your spirit shift. It's the moment when the illusion catches its first crack. The moment when the mask slips just enough for you to see what lies beneath it. The moment when truth, quiet but undeniable, begins to breathe. And Libra, this moment does not come from coincidence. It comes from divine timing. God, the universe, your higher power, they will always send you one undeniable clue. One detail that reveals the game. One action that exposes the motive. One moment that disrupts the performance. And that clue often arrives wrapped in disappointment. It stings, it confuses you, it breaks the image you were holding on to. But disappointment is not punishment, it is revelation. Because sometimes truth only enters when your heart has been emptied by deceit. Sometimes it takes that emotional sting for your spirit to finally wake up and say, "Look again, this is not love, this is not safe." And in that moment, everything becomes clearer. Their excuses no longer comfort you. Their charm no longer blinds you. Their patterns that once confused you now make sense. This clarity isn't meant to hurt you. It's meant to free you. It's heaven's way of saying, you've passed the test of compassion, now receive the lesson of clarity. So don't curse the exposure. Don't hate the moment that opened your eyes. Don't mourn the image that shattered. Bless it. Because that moment of revelation is divine protection. It is the universe removing someone from the place they should have never occupied in your heart. It is your spirit reclaiming the peace you didn't even realize you lost. This is the beginning of truth, Libra, and truth will always guide you toward the love you truly deserve. Libra, here is the truth they don't want you to see. They don't want control over your schedule, your choices, or your decisions. They want something far deeper, far more powerful, control over your emotions. They want to be the one who decides when you feel loved. They want to be the one who decides when you feel guilty. They want to be the one who decides when you feel noticed and when you feel ignored. This is the kind of control that doesn't need force. It just needs your heart to stay confused. And they know exactly how to keep that confusion alive. They understand that you crave harmony. You want peace, clarity, balance. You want relationships that feel soft, steady, and sincere. And because they know this, they turn that desire into a weapon. When they pull away, they know you will chase, not because you're weak, but because your heart wants to make things right. Because you care. Because you want answers. And when they return, they know you will forgive, not because you're desperate, but because your soul is naturally compassionate. Because you don't hold grudges, because you believe in giving chances. This cycle becomes the trap, a loop that feels like passion but is actually emotional captivity. A pattern that feels intense but not healthy. A connection that seems deep but only because it keeps wounding the same place in your spirit over and over again. And yet, Libra, something inside you is waking up. Something is shifting. Your spirit is no longer hypnotized by their charm. The very charm that once drew you in now feels empty, like a song you've heard too many times, one that no longer moves your heart. Their compliments don't hit the same. They sound rehearsed, like lines they've used on others before you. Their apologies feel recycled, as if they're not apologizing because they care, but because they don't want to lose access to your energy. You are beginning to recognize the pattern. You are beginning to see that what felt like love was actually strategy. What felt like deep connection was emotional management. What felt intense was actually imbalance disguised as passion. And here's the powerful truth rising in you now. The illusion only works when you're desperate for connection. But you've grown beyond that. Your spirit is maturing. Your intuition is louder. Your self-worth is rising. You no longer want someone who keeps you guessing. You no longer want someone who switches affection on and off to control you. You no longer want someone who drains your peace and then pretends to be the only one who can restore it. You don't need validation from the very hands that drained your peace. You don't need attention that only arrives when they fear losing you. You don't need the push and pull dance that keeps your soul tired. You are reclaiming your emotional freedom. And once a Libra begins to reclaim their peace, no trap can hold them. Libra, there comes a moment when your spirit shifts before your mind understands why. A moment when someone who once felt warm suddenly feels unfamiliar. A moment when the comfort you used to feel in their presence turns into a quiet, steady discomfort you can't explain. This is not anxiety. This is not imagination. This is divine interference. When your spirit becomes restless around someone who once felt safe, that is heaven whispering, "Step back before the fall." It is the universe tugging gently at your intuition, saying, "Look again. Something is not right." You may start dreaming about them in strange ways, dreams where their face changes, where their energy feels dark, where something about them feels off. These dreams are not random. They are spiritual warnings sent through the one place where you cannot lie to yourself, your subconscious. You may feel a heaviness in your chest when their name appears on your phone, a sudden discomfort after reading their message, an unexplained shift in your mood after talking to them. That heaviness is your intuition flashing red. Your spirit is doing everything it can to get your attention. Listen, Libra. Not all love is sent to heal you. Some are sent to test you. Some are sent to see if you have learned the lesson of self-worth. Some arrive to show you what happens when you give your heart to someone who was never meant to hold it. This person's presence is not a blessing. It is a mirror. A mirror showing how your spirit reacts when something feels wrong. A mirror showing the cost of ignoring your inner truth. A mirror revealing that love without honesty is nothing but a performance. You are not paranoid. You are perceptive. Your heart has always been intuitive. Your spirit has always been sensitive. You notice shifts before others do. You feel danger before it becomes visible. You're not cold. You're cautious. Caution is not fear. It is spiritual intelligence. It is your soul protecting itself from yet another emotional cycle that would leave you drained and disappointed. The divine never exposes truth to hurt you. It exposes truth to free you, to open your eyes before more damage is done, to pull you away from someone who doesn't know how to treat your heart, to redirect your path towards someone who will love you with sincerity, not strategy. This warning is a gift, a spiritual shield placed between you and the trap that was forming around your emotions. Honor it, feel it, and allow it to guide you away from what only pretended to be love. Your spirit is speaking, Libra, not to scare you, but to protect you. Libra, there comes a moment when your spirit decides it has had enough. Enough confusion, enough guessing, enough emotional imbalance disguised as affection. And when that moment finally arrives, when you choose distance instead of discomfort, something beautiful begins to happen inside you. Watch closely because the shift is gentle but powerful. Your peace begins to return, slowly at first, then all at once. Like sunlight pushing its way through heavy curtains that kept your soul in the dark for too long. The weight you didn't realize you were carrying begins to lift. Your mind feels clearer. Your body feels lighter. Your breathing becomes easier. Your laughter returns, not the forced kind you used when you tried to keep the connection alive, but the real laughter that comes from a place of inner freedom. Your joy begins to rise again. Not borrowed, not manipulated, not drained, but naturally growing from within you. Even music sounds different now. The songs you stopped listening to suddenly feel warm again. Life feels like it has color again. This is what spiritual liberation feels like. Not fireworks, not dramatic endings, but the quiet reclaiming of your energy, the energy you once poured into someone who never deserved it. When you release someone who is pretending to love you, the universe responds immediately. As soon as you let go of the false connection, divine replacements begin to form. Real love starts moving towards you. the kind that doesn't require confusion to feel meaningful. Real honesty begins to approach, the kind that doesn't switch on and off depending on what the other person wants. Real alignment enters your space, the kind that brings peace, not chaos. And the person who pretended to love you, they will notice your absence. They will feel the loss of your attention, because attention is all they ever wanted. They will wonder why you stopped chasing, why you stopped apologizing for things you didn't do, why you stopped accepting half-hearted effort, why you stopped bending your heart into shapes that were never comfortable for you. But by then, you'll be too busy healing, too busy rediscovering yourself, too busy embracing the peace that returns when you choose yourself over their emotional games. Remember this, Libra, the ones pretending to love you can only survive in your attention. Your attention is their fuel, your energy is their power source, your confusion is their advantage. Remove it and their illusion dies. Because their charm only works when you're looking at them. Their performance only works when you're listening. Their games only work when your heart is open to them. When you walk away, the mask falls, the act ends, and they are left with the emptiness they tried to cover with manipulation. But you walk forward with clarity, strength, and a restored spirit, finally free from the trap that once held your heart. This is liberation, Libra. And it is only the beginning. Libra, take a slow breath now, because this is the moment where everything begins to make sense. This is the moment where your heart starts to fully understand what the universe has been trying to show you all along. Let this be your closure. Not a painful ending, not a bitter goodbye, but a gentle understanding that you were never the problem. You are not unlovable. You are not too much. You are not hard to keep. You are not difficult to love. You were simply surrounded by someone who didn't know what love meant. Someone who liked the idea of you, but not the responsibility of loving you. Someone who enjoyed your energy, but didn't know how to give any back. Someone who wanted the attention you carried, but not the commitment your heart required. The universe is proud of you for noticing the disguise, for listening to your spirit even when your emotions tried to defend them, for paying attention to the signs even when your hope tried to hold on, for choosing truth over confusion. Your strength is showing more than you realize. You didn't just walk away from a person, you walked away from a cycle, a pattern, a spiritual trap that was draining your heart day by day. And now that you've created space, something beautiful is coming toward you. Soon, someone genuine will appear. Someone who doesn't play games with your emotions. Someone who doesn't leave you wondering where you stand. Someone who doesn't use affection as a tool but gives it as a gift. This person will not come to fix you, because you are not broken. They will come to honor you, to meet your softness with stability, to answer your honesty with safety, to treat your love as something precious, not something to exploit. They will not confuse your peace for weakness. They will protect it. They will hold your heart in a way that feels steady, not shaky. Your soul will relax around them instead of working overtime to understand them. But until that moment arrives, choose solitude over false company. Solitude with peace is a kind of wealth. It gives you time to heal, time to think, time to breathe. It helps you rebuild your energy, your clarity, your sense of self. Connection with deceit, however, is poverty. It empties your heart. It drains your spirit. It makes you question your worth. It steals the joy you worked hard to grow. You deserve better than that. You deserve the kind of love that does not require you to lose yourself. So if this message spoke to your soul, if something inside you felt seen, understood, or confirmed, write this in the comments to affirm your strength. I choose peace over pretense. Say it with intention. Say it as a declaration of your worth. Say it as a promise to yourself that you will no longer settle for anything less than sincerity. Stay aligned, Libra. Stay discerning. Stay faithful. Because your true love story begins the moment the false one ends. And the universe has already started writing a better chapter for your heart. Subscribe for more divine messages, Libra, and remember this truth. The universe will never let deception win over destiny. Your soul is protected. Your heart is guided, and your next chapter will be brighter than anything you lost.